Hey all, Jeremy and Josh here for our monthly founders video. We're kind of calling it a mini podcast because we started to just talk openly about topics that intrigue us. And this month we're talking about discovering your allies. Recently I've been writing my sort of very intimate and honest thoughts about how we work through the muck sometimes and the messiness of the challenges that we face in our work to help unlock human potential with our thought partners, our clients, our team, learners in the industry. And it's not always an easy process, but I thought I would kick things off by telling a little story. I had a conversation with a thought partner of ours, Julie, a couple of years ago, and I was in this moment of kind of saying to myself, like, who are our best clients? Like, how do we find people that really, are aligned with us in vision? And sometimes it was easier than others. And she said, Jeremy, sounds sort of binary, but in a nutshell, you really want to look for your zeros and your tens. Is that the right? Yep. Anyway, and the point was, like, zeros are people that just clearly don't see eye to eye with you, and you say goodbye to them as quickly as possible, as kindly as you can. And the tens are those that really get it, and get it meaning like they see a similar world view to you. They work in similar ways, they have similar values, and it just makes it easier to work with folks like that, where you can hold hands together. I've always felt like you need a collective impact in this industry when we're looking to make behavior change or to help enable behavior change in very complex areas, like emotional intelligence and communication and inclusivity, things that are really important, neurodiversity. We have to have an environment where people can support each other. So having those tens has been super important. However, it's not always easy to find them and to identify that. And sometimes an 8 will look like a 10, where people, and you can't know until you start to work with someone. So kind of shift over to Josh, see what some of your thoughts are, and then we can kind of keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just to build on that, I think that finding your tens is sometimes a process, because you meet people, and I think a lot of times, the reasons that people gravitate to, say, this industry, education and learning, are that they do share similar values around, they do see potential in people, and they do want to work through the muck, and they do want to, be collaborative. But I found that it really does sometimes take time to uncover that. So that's, whether or not you're interviewing people, or trying them out for a job, we always wanted to be able to have, wish there were ways that people could try out jobs without having to kind of, base everything off these short interviews, which are just really about your ability to speak well to your work and your past work, and to build that excitement together. But whenever you're working with a client, you also don't necessarily have that time to qualify and vet everyone that you want to work with, and so that you end up actually doing the work together, and that's when you discover whether or not you're a 5, an 8, or a 10.
Yeah, and I would
so
say
I think,
oh, sorry, really quickly to piggyback, I was going to say that also with the team is that's always been critically important, in choosing the moments of when you are truly engaged with finding that 10 has been the team. And we've done a good job. We've done a good job in finding a team that's really aligned, and you learn things, like you said, along the way that you didn't expect. But I'm super proud of, and I know you are, of our team and that we put together. They're so heart-centered and so smart and so unique, each of them. And that's a key area for us. And that's something I could share with everyone. Like, hey, find the areas that are most important. Is it like a teammate that you work with to help bring an initiative forward in people development? Is it your team in any areas where we have locus of control, obviously? So we don't always have the control with clients. We don't. But we're heading into a space where we're looking to orient towards volume a little bit more, or scalability, I should say, where we want to make more impact as a SaaS business. And we're learning that, you can't always find those 10s in that kind of situation. And you'll be surprised where there's a 10 where you didn't know they were there. And you put out language that tries to track them, for instance, because you're not going to be able to meet every single person right off the bat. So just, it's interesting as that evolves, and what you might be doing.
I think just what we've noticed too, gems in the rough, that a lot of times clients who we think are going to totally activate are not necessarily the ones that actually do. And it comes down to so many factors, that not something that we can always control ourselves. We always try to, ensure that they get great onboarding experiences, and that, we help them launch their first program and all those things. But there's just so many unknowns, even about what's happening in the world, or, market conditions, et cetera. And so I think that there's both the overlap of, like, the people you want to work with, but there's also, like, the success you have, which is many ways outside of your control. And so, kind of have to just plant the right seeds for it to hopefully flourish.
Yeah, man. Agreed. Dream seeds, as we might say. Anyway, so hopefully this is interesting, and you're thinking about, how am I finding my allies? I'm at, sort of at my job sometimes, and I feel like I'm sitting in a space where I don't have the superpowers unleashed that I'd like, or whatever challenges you might be facing in your work. We're with you. We hear you and see you, and you're felt, because we feel that way too at times. And I think what I would say from an actionable standpoint is, yeah, just try to seek out people that you feel connection with, and that you might be able to do some really cool work with. We're doing that now with our various client types, and we're looking to support creators, for instance, that maybe an instructional designer or a consultant or a manager on a team that wants to get their hands on our great tools to create something really special, to unleash some kind of behavior change, or something that will create a better morale and such in their company. So we're constantly thinking about this, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. And I guess you can, I don't know, add them somewhere or email us. But I'm not obviously a YouTube creator. But anyway, we enjoyed this, and we hope this is helpful, and get your juices flowing, and have a great rest of the month. And we'll see you next month.
Great. All right.
Cheers. All
Cheers.
right.